If I told you that true power isn't loud, would you believe me? It doesn't live in the frantic rush, not in words that overpower others, not under the blinding lights of those desperate to prove themselves. Power lives somewhere deeper, in the quiet space the world can't touch. We live in a culture obsessed with more tasks, more proof, more action, just to feel like we're moving forward. But here's a truth few are willing to face. Lasting power doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from knowing when to act and when to stand still. I'm not talking about being cold or manipulative. I'm talking about the art of placing yourself in the right place, at the right time, and letting life move toward you. Think of a master painter. They don't throw every color on the canvas. They wait, choose, and lay each brushstroke with care. Think of an archer. They don't release when the wind is wild. They wait until their breath and the arrow move as one. Your life is the same. True power isn't about controlling everyone. It's about mastering yourself, mastering timing, focus, and your energy. That's why today, we're stepping into 9 Machiavellian rules for dominant power. Not rules that harden your heart, but rules grounded in something older: Stoicism. If Machiavelli teaches you strategy, Stoicism teaches you to master your mind. And that is the kind of power no one can take away. Stoic philosophy doesn't suppress who you are. It guides your emotions so they don't lead you astray. It tells you when to speak, when to act, and when to stay completely silent. It's the strength of walking into the storm without a single tremor. It's the strength of hearing the noise and still catching the whisper within. I've met people like this. They don't need to win every battle. They don't need to explain themselves to every doubt. But when they choose to act, you feel it. The whole room shifts. That's not luck. That's power trained and guarded. And once you understand this, you'll see the greatest victory isn't over someone else. It's over the part of you that still thinks you have something to prove. If you're ready to stand steady in the storm, stay with me. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep walking this path, the place where true power is born. Rule 1: master the art of silence. If right now you didn't answer right away, but just stayed silent for 3 breaths, what would you hear? The noise, or yourself. Every lasting victory doesn't start on a stage, not in the applause. It begins in the quiet where you face yourself. You can't lead anyone until you've led your own mind. And the first step is intentional silence. Because words can build empires, and they can burn them down. Silence at the right moment is sharper than any argument. It creates mystery. It throws the impatient off balance. It forces others to reveal more while you hold your cards. Most people hate the empty space. They speak to prove their worth. They speak to convince themselves they're okay. But those who understand power know silence is never empty. In silence, you see more. A tiny shift in tone, a glance that slips away, a slight pause in their answer, details you'd miss if you were busy talking. In the boardroom, silence is an anchor. You let the wave of emotion pass, then you drop the question that hits the nerve. In work emails, silence is an appointment. Thanks. I'll need to review the numbers. I'll get back to you in the morning. Short, clear, boundaried. In relationships, silence is a boundary. You don't punish with it, but you refuse to react impulsively. You breathe. You name your emotion, and you speak only when your heart is steady. Think of an archer. They don't shoot when the wind is swirling. They wait until breath and arrow form one clean line. Think of a conductor. That moment they hold their hands in the air, the entire orchestra holds its breath. That silence makes the next note heavier with meaning. The silence you choose is your sovereignty. It's patience. It's the confidence that you don't need to prove yourself in every moment. Healthy boundaries. Silence is not avoidance. It's not stonewalling. It's not punishment. And if your safety is at risk, speak up, seek help, and protect yourself. Stop. 3 breaths. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat 3 times. Observe. Whose voice is shaking? Whose eyes look away? Name it. I'm angry. I'm afraid of being misunderstood. Choose. Speak now or wait until morning. Say less, but make it count. I need a minute to think. I'll reply tomorrow. I want to understand better what's your expectation. When you speak after silence, your words carry the weight of someone who has seen the whole board before touching the first piece. Remember, you don't need to win every argument. You just need to not lose yourself. Master silence, and you master the room. Master the room, and over time, you master the game. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe, tap, like, and share it with someone you value. And in the comments, write one line, the last time you held that pause. What changed? In the next video of this 9 Rules series, we'll dive into Rule 2, so the power inside you begins to move the world around you. Some games aren't won or lost by the pieces you move, but by the pieces you haven't touched yet. Rule 2. Control the flow of information. Power isn't just in what you know, it's also in what others think you know. Most people talk too much. They share their plans with anyone willing to listen. They explain themselves even when no one really needs to hear it. And when they do, they lay the knife on the table and give someone else the right to cut their story apart. Those who understand influence don't tell everything, not out of fear, not out of paranoia, but out of discipline. When you control the information, you control perception. And when you control perception, you shape reality. Think of a magician. They never show you the full trick. They give you just enough to believe you've figured it out. But the real secret stays hidden. Your life works the same way. You don't need to explain every decision. You don't need to justify every move. You share only what serves your purpose. In the boardroom, don't reveal the whole project right away. Give enough of the strategy to build trust, but keep the critical piece for the moment of decision. On social media, you don't have to post every moment you live. Keep some memories just for your own heart, free from the gaze of the world. In relationships, not every silence is a wall. Sometimes it's how you protect fragile dreams until they're strong enough to stand in the open. When you reveal everything, you give others the power to interfere or destroy. When you hold something back, you make them guess. And uncertainty can be a powerful ally. So guard your plans until they can stand on their own. Let people wonder. Let them speculate. In the space of ambiguity, you still hold control. In the next 24 hours, keep one important thing about yourself to yourself. Don't share it unless it directly serves your goal or protects your safety. Then watch. Who asks? Who guesses? Who stays silent too? You'll see power isn't just in what you share, it's in what you choose to keep. Protect your words, protect your plans, and you'll find the fewer people who know, the more power you hold. If this resonated with you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people learn how to protect what matters most to them. And in the comments, write, "One thing I'll keep to myself today is I'll read every single one." Rule 3. Keep your enemies close. Some battles aren't won or lost by the weapon you hold, but by the distance you choose. What would you pick? Stand far away and guess? Or stand close and know distance creates shadow? Closeness reveals light. Your enemies, whether it's a rival at work, a critic online, or someone who's always trying to shake you, are valuable sources of information. From afar, they're a mystery, a question mark. But when you pull them closer, you can watch, study their habits, see their strengths and the cracks in their armor. Most people push threats away. It feels safer, cleaner, but safety isn't always found in distance. Up close, you notice patterns in their reactions. You hear the slight shift in their voice when they're unsure. You see the glance to the side when they're bluffing. And when the mystery disappears, so does their power over you. Sometimes, closeness even changes the game. When you understand someone to their core, you realize they're human too. They have fears, they have wounds, and sometimes what they want overlaps with what you're seeking. Not to trust blindly, not to forget what they've done, but to use that overlap as a temporary bridge in the fight. Keeping your enemy close isn't surrender. It's gathering intelligence. It's drawing the map. And when the moment comes, you'll be holding the entire map in your hands while they're still stumbling in the dark trying to find you. Picture this. You've mastered silence. You've controlled the flow of information. And now, you understand even those who stand against you. You're no longer walking in the dark. You're standing on the highest point, seeing the entire battlefield. Choose one person you normally avoid. In the next week, be near them in a safe setting. Observe 3 things: a habit or phrase they repeat, how they react under pressure, the moment they lose focus. Write it down and ask yourself, how does this give me an advantage? Keep your enemies close so you can truly see them. And when you see clearly, you'll never fear the shadow again. If this rule made you think differently, subscribe, like, and share so others can learn to walk their own battlefield with open eyes. And in the comments, write, "One thing I saw more clearly up close was I'll read every single one." Rule 4. Never outshine the master. Are you trying to prove yourself? Before you're truly ready, ambition is a fire. It can light the path ahead or burn the very bridge you need to cross. When you stand in the light of someone ahead of you, someone with more experience, more achievements, more respect, there's always a temptation. The temptation to prove yourself, to show the world you belong, to shine so brightly. You outshine even them. But here's the risk. When you try to outshine the master, you can turn a potential ally into a silent rival. You might lose the very hand that was ready to pull you up. Power doesn't always come from standing in the spotlight. Sometimes it comes from knowing when to step back, to let someone else take the stage while you watch. Learn, absorb the wisdom they paid for with years you haven't yet lived. Patience here isn't passive, it's strategic, because your time will come. And when it does, you'll carry depth of skill presence and timing things no early performance could match. Think of the turning of the seasons. Winter doesn't fight to become spring. It knows its time will pass. And when the first flower blooms, it doesn't strain for attention, yet it still transforms the entire landscape. Your growth is the same. If you try to bloom before your roots are deep enough, the first wind will carry you away. I've seen people who were too eager. They dimmed their mentor's light and unknowingly closed the very door they wanted to walk through. But I've also seen those who waited, who learned, who quietly built their foundation. And when they stepped into the light, it wasn't just shining, it was inevitable. Today, choose someone you admire. Spend time with them, not to prove yourself, but to learn. Write down 3 things they do that you've never noticed before. 3 things you could apply right now. Let that experience feed you. The way winter feeds the seed. Don't fear standing in the shadow of a master, because it's in that shadow you'll grow strong enough to one day cast your own. If this rule resonated with you, subscribe, like, and share this video so others can learn to nurture their moment to shine. And in the comments, write, "The person I want to learn from is..." I'll read every single one. Rule 5. Appear weak when you are strong. The strongest wave isn't the loudest. It gathers its force quietly, and when it hits, nothing can stop it. True strength never shouts. It whispers, it waits, and when it moves, the whole world feels it. In a society that rewards noise, where everyone fights to be the loudest, the smartest, the most powerful, there is another way. You don't always have to play your best card. You don't always have to prove yourself in every moment. Sometimes the wisest move is to appear weaker than you are, not because you doubt yourself, but because you know this truth: when others underestimate you, you hold an advantage they can't see. Show your full strength too early, and you trigger resistance. You stir fear. You create enemies before you need to face them. But when you let others believe they have the upper hand, they relax. They lower their guard, and in that space, you're free to move quietly, to observe, to place yourself exactly where you need to be without attracting unnecessary attacks. Think of a bow. It is silent when drawn back. The more it's held, the greater the force when it's released. Think of a cat stalking prey. It doesn't pounce right away. It melts into the shadows until the perfect moment to strike. Your life is no different. You don't have to dominate every room to know you belong there. You don't have to argue every point in a meeting to prove you're right, because when the time comes, your strength will be so undeniable, no one can dispute it. This isn't hiding forever. It's restraint. It's knowing that strength isn't just what you can do, but when and how you choose to do it. Appear weak when you are strong, and you keep the element of surprise. Because quiet confidence, knowing you could, but choosing to wait, is a kind of power no one can challenge. This week, choose one situation where you'd normally react immediately. Instead, pause for 3 breaths. Observe. Listen more than you speak. Then act when you know you'll hit the mark. True strength isn't loud. It doesn't fight for the spotlight. It waits. And when it arrives, it changes everything. If this rule spoke to you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can grow their quiet strength. And in the comments, write, "The moment I chose to wait changed what I'll read every single one." Rule 6. Better to be feared than loved. Are you giving up your boundaries just to hold on to love? Love can warm you, but respect will protect you. We all crave love, that soft comfort of being accepted. being welcomed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the truth. Few want to say out loud, love can fade. It can weaken with time. It can disappear the moment someone stops getting what they want from you. Respect is different. Respect lasts because it's built on boundaries, on clarity, on the unshakable sense that you know exactly who you are and exactly how you expect to be treated. When people know your boundaries and see that you will enforce them, they think twice before crossing the line. They don't test you the same way. They act differently in your presence. This isn't about cruelty. It isn't ruling through the fear of a tyrant. It's presence. It's authority. It's the quiet certainty that you are not someone to be taken lightly. Think of the leaders you truly respect. Not because they were the most charming, not because they always agreed with you, but because they had a spine of steel. They stood on their principles even when it cost them approval. That's the kind of strength that earns lasting respect. And yes, sometimes that respect carries a hint of fear. Not fear of harm, but fear of crossing a line you can't come back from. In a world obsessed with being liked, there's something rare and magnetic about someone who doesn't need everyone's praise, someone who puts integrity above popularity, someone willing to walk away alone with dignity intact rather than stay among those who only love a version they can twist or break. Love can warm you for a season, but respect will shelter you for life. Write down 3 boundaries you will never negotiate. Keep them where you can see them. And the next time they're tested, let your actions remind others. You know your worth. Choose what keeps your integrity whole, and you'll never have to lose yourself just to please someone else. If this rule spoke to you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can learn to build respect that lasts. And in the comments write, the most important boundary I have is, I'll read every single one. Rule 7. Build a reputation for being ruthless. Are you willing to be misunderstood? If it means protecting what matters, kindness without boundaries is an open door for those who would take advantage. We're taught to be nice, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict at all costs. And yes, kindness is a strength, but without limits, it becomes an invitation to be used. There will be moments in life when you have to make a hard decision, a decision others won't understand, a decision that won't get applause, but will protect your vision, your integrity, and your future. This isn't cruelty for the sake of harm. It's not looking for a chance to wound. It's discipline. Discipline to act when others hesitate. The resolve to do what must be done without apology, without delay, without waiting for everyone's approval. When people know you'll act clearly, decisively, they think twice before crossing you. They listen more closely when you speak. Your presence carries weight. Think of the generals, CEOs, and leaders who left their mark. They weren't loved by everyone, and they didn't need to be. What they had was a reputation, a quiet certainty that if a line needed to be drawn, they'd draw it. The goal isn't to live in constant conflict. The goal is for people to know you are capable of making the hard call. You will protect what matters. And if that makes someone call you ruthless, so be it. Because when your actions are guided by clarity and purpose, you will stand with your integrity intact while those who hesitated are still wondering what happened. At that point, You're no longer just an observer. You're a force respected, watched, and unpredictable. But true power isn't just in standing firm. It's in knowing exactly when to strike. Think about a hard decision you've been avoiding. Write down what happens if I keep avoiding it. What happens if I act now? Then take one small step toward that decision. Today, a ruthless reputation isn't about brutality. It's a reminder to the world that you will not hesitate to protect what matters most. If this rule struck a chord with you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more women can learn to build decisive strength with dignity. And in the comments, write, the hard decision I'm ready to face is, I'll read every single one. Rule 8. The end justifies the means. A bow that's been drawn cannot stay still forever. How long have you been preparing and still haven't stepped out? Preparation means nothing if you don't have the courage to release the arrow. There will always be a moment when every plan, every ounce of patience, every hour of waiting must give way to action. And here's the truth: few will say out loud to achieve what truly matters. You'll have to do the things others avoid. Step into places they're afraid to go. Make the decisions they hesitate to make. The means may demand sacrifice. They may bring discomfort. They may force you into the darkest corners of your own fear. But there's one thing: the cost must never touch your integrity. That is untouchable. The real price is sweat, sleepless nights, and those quiet moments when every voice inside you whispers, stop, and you still take one more step. It's hitting submit on that dream job application, even as your heart pounds in your chest. It's standing up in a meeting saying what everyone is thinking, but no one dares to say. It's ending a relationship because you know staying will make you smaller. Every intentional action that moves you toward your vision is a vote for the person you are becoming. And each time you cast that vote, you move closer to becoming strong enough to hold it. Discomfort is temporary. The exhaustion will fade. But the reward, becoming the person able to claim and protect your vision that stays for life. In the end, the world won't remember how comfortable you were. It will remember what you dared to do. Write down one action you've been putting off. Set the date, set the time, commit to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. Don't let your drawn bow become nothing but a silent string. If this rule spoke to you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can learn to turn preparation into action. And in the comments, write, the action I will take today is, I'll read every single one. Rule 9. Strike decisively and without warning. A bow that's been drawn cannot stay still forever. How long have you been preparing, but still haven't stepped out? Preparation is invisible until the moment it explodes into action. You've waited. You've watched. You've studied every move, every possibility. But here's the truth. All preparation is meaningless if you hesitate when the moment comes. When you act with everything you have. No hesitation, no half measures. Hesitation invites resistance. It gives your opponent time to regroup, build defenses, and strike back at your advantage. But decisive action can change the entire game in a heartbeat. When the door of opportunity opens, step through with absolute clarity, with enough force that no one has time to react. This isn't recklessness. It's recognizing that the moment has arrived and stepping into it with full conviction. Think of a storm that breaks after days of still skies. When it comes, it doesn't ask permission. It transforms everything it touches. That's the presence. That's the energy you carry when it's time to strike. The moment you shift from player to the one who defines the game. From here on, every move you make isn't just to win. It's to prove you cannot be defeated. Write down one opportunity in front of you. Choose the smallest action you can take today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. Your preparation is deep enough. The bow is drawn. Don't let the string stay silent. If this message hit you, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can learn to turn preparation into action. And in the comments write, "The action I will take today is, I'll read every single one. Some mountains can only be conquered in silence. No noise, no fireworks, just steady, deliberate steps. Power isn't a sprint. It's an uphill climb, steady, intentional, unshaken by the noise below. Your journey to power has never been about speed. It's about patience, precision, and the discipline to act when others are still hesitating. You've built your foundation in quiet, mastered self-control, learned to understand before you act. You've shaped your influence through image, authority, and reputation, not with loud declarations, but with presence, with the weight of the person you've become. And when the moment comes, you act with clarity, with absolute decisiveness, not to prove others wrong, but to prove you've stayed true to yourself. Power isn't about crushing others under your heel. It's about rising slowly but surely until every attempt to bring you down is nothing more than wind against a mountain. In the end, you don't just stand above the rest. You stand above the person you used to be, steady, undeniable, and fully your own. Write down 3 things you will stay committed to on your climb upward. Place them where you can see them every day, so no noise can make you forget. If these words reached you, don't let them fade when this video ends. Carry them. Act on them. Share this message with someone who's climbing their own mountain, someone who needs to be reminded they're stronger than they think. And if you want more conversations like this, truths, we were never taught strategies to rise without losing yourself, stay here with me, because this journey is only just beginning.